Welcome. I'm Vay Ilanchediyan. This is the overview of the 15th general election. Dr. Michael Jeyakumar, of the three manifestos released by the Barisan Nasional, Pakatan Harapan, and Perikatan Nasional, which one has the most promising or comprehensive poverty alleviation program? And are there any specific program that really got you excited?
Okay, I'll take the second question first, Ilan. The one that got me really excited was the BN proposal to top up family income to the poverty line of $2,200. And that, I think, will be a real help to the really poor families in our country. And I think it's very welcome. I'm quite excited by it. It will cost about 10 billion per year, something I think the country can afford. And it will also have a knock-on effect for small businesses because these families mainly will be buying from the small hawkers, small stalls, pasar malams. And that sectors of small businessmen will get an injection of $10 billion per year. That also is good because they're also not very rich people. As for being comprehensive, I think none of them are really comprehensive because they're not looking at the causes of poverty. They're just giving various kinds of handouts, which are necessary. You need to give bandage to start off. But you also got to address things like low wages. Wages in Malaysia are suppressed. A factory worker in Bayan Lepas may be doing the same work as a factory worker in the Silicon Valley. But when the factory from there comes here, wages come down to about 1/8 of what they used to pay in California. And the multinationals, what they do is they open up one here, they open up one in Thailand. So the Malaysian entrepreneur says, give me more for the chips. Now, probably in America, you're selling them for 8 times the price. Here, you're selling it to you at 1/8 the price. The MNC say, okay, in that case, I'll reduce my orders here and I'll order more from Thailand. So they play off ASEAN countries in such a way, so they keep the prices of the chips they're buying from us low, and that means our entrepreneurs will have to keep wages low to make their profits. Now, this is a systemic issue that none of the manifestos look at. So the other one is migrant labor. We are reliant on migrant labor to give cheap labor for the MNCs and the factories. And there again, it's because we're competing with Vietnam. And Vietnam's minimum wage is lower than ours. It's about 70-80% of ours. So there is a problem which hasn't been addressed. How do you increase wages, the share of the income going to the working class of this country, when your whole industrialization policy, your whole policy to bring in FDI, is based on low wages and you're competing with other low wage regimes. Now that issue hasn't been addressed. That will be a comprehensive addressing, is it?
That being the case, it's not been comprehensively addressed. But the other part is, they have made these promises now. And some of them, as you said, like, for example, the Barisan Nasional promise sounds really interesting. But delivering them could be immensely difficult, if not impossible. Viewed from this perspective, do you think any promises appear more practical or prudent of the three?
Well, I think all of them have made promises of increasing the well-being of people, which means you got to pay money for programs that help the people. For example, all of them say they will spend more on healthcare. In fact, BN and Pakatan talk of doubling the health budget from 2% to 4% of GDP. Now, at 2% is already about 32 billion now. Go to 4% will be another 30 billion. So they haven't actually explained, none of them have explained where the money is going to come from. At this point in time, our deficit is about almost 100 billion. Our revenue is about 240 billion. And our expenditure is about 320 or 330 billion. So where are they going to get the money from? So if you don't have a source for the money, don't explain where the money is coming from, then it's very likely they will say, look, we want to do this, but right now our deficit is 5%, we've got to bring our budget deficit down to 3.5%. Otherwise, international rating agencies will downgrade our bond, and then we can't do that, so we've got to postpone it. I think many of them are going to say that, unless they're going to tell us where the extra money, we cost it all together, come to maybe about 60, 70 billion. On top of the 90 to 100 billion deficit already there in the budget they talked about, it didn't pass, right? Where's the money going to come from? If we don't answer that, then all this is just hot air, you see? So we have to address that issue. But I'm not sure if they share the same ideas. And they don't say that, then all of them are equally, question mark lah.
Earlier, you said that we are continuing to rely on foreign migrant workers, probably at the expense of local workers. Why do you think the manifestos are not addressing this particular issue? In fact, in the last last election, Pakatan Harapan did mention about reducing the reliance on foreign workers, but somehow you feel it's not being addressed this time around. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, I think they don't know how to do it. Like now, already the several sectors, the services sectors, the plantations, even manufacturing, are crying out for foreign workers. It's in the short, we cannot produce, we got orders, but we can't, But at the ground, when you look at it, the existence of so many foreign workers, especially the undocumented, those guys who run away from their employers and are in the black market, are actually depressing our wage flow. In Sungai Siput, a lot of the Malays and Indians have a serious problem with employment. They can't get jobs. And if they want to get jobs, they have to work at below the minimum poverty line, the minimum wage line of 1,005. I've got Malay friends who are working as security guards, 12-hour shifts, and only getting $1,000 a month, no overtime. And if they were to talk back and say, no, it's too low for me, they lose the job. So that is the reality of the ground. And sad to say, we are reliant on migrant workers because of this whole issue of a low-wage economy, which is the center pin of us getting the global change to invest here. It's linked to that, is it? The low-wage policy, which is so integral to us getting foreign investors in, also means we got to rely on foreign workers because Malaysian workers are not so keen to work in that slave-like conditions. We have the longer-term solution for that is to think of what happened in Bandung 1955, of independent development of industry and economy in the third world, in the post-colonial era, which Sukarno and Nehru and Chow and Lai and the whole group talked about. But that has been given up, so far. Now all these parties, the PN, the PN, the PH, all are going for trying to get FDI, trying to get the foreign, getting the global change to come and invest here, to feed into that. And if you play that game, what happens is then you are fighting to lower costs, mainly labor costs, so that they invest here. So our very method, our very principles by which organize the economy and trying to contest for FDI, actually, in a way, undermines efforts to share the wealth of this nation with the people who are producing it. There's a fundamental issue that I think none of them actually address. It is a neoliberal approach, that you liberalize the economy, you get in investors from outside and all that. It's predicated on low wages. It's predicated on bringing in lots of foreign workers, which means that workers of ours, our own workers, have difficulty getting jobs unless they're prepared to work at the same rates and in the same conditions as those workers are prepared to work. And that's a fundamental problem which none of them address.
That was Dr. Michael Jeyakumar Devaraj, Chairman, Parti Sosialis Malaysia, and former Member of Parliament of the Sungai Siput constituency. I am Ve Ilancherian. Thank you.